The Imperial battle station Argonis, 12 floated in the cold darkness of space like a giant metal fortress. For many years, it watched over the border of the Zarak Empire and protected the nearby colonies. On most days nothing happened. Only patrol ships, trade vessels and old cargo haulers passed by. The crew was used to quiet shifts and slow hours. On this day the silence felt almost peaceful. Inside the main command bridge, officers worked at their glowing screens. Soft beeps filled the room. Data numbers rolled like calm waves. Captain Vorin Tal, a strict but respected Caltarian officer, stood in front of the large viewing window with his hands behind his back. His scaled skin reflected the dim blue lights of the bridge. He liked quiet days. They meant the galaxy was stable. But the galaxy rarely stayed stable for long. Without warning, a sharp alarm exploded through the speakers. Beep, beep, beep. Red lights flashed around the bridge. Screens flickered. Several officers jumped from their seats in confusion. The sensor officer, a young specialist named Relan, shouted, "Command alarm triggered. Unknown vessel entering scan range." Captain Vorin's eyes widened slightly. "Unknown? Show it on the main screen." Relan worked quickly. The screen blinked once, then again. A dark shape appeared. At first it looked like a shadow. No lights. No engines. No running markers. No heat signature. It did not look like any ship the Empire had ever seen. Vorin frowned. "Magnify." The image zoomed in. Still no details. Still no markings. Still no color. It was simply dark. Relan spoke again, but this time his voice trembled. "Sir, I checked our entire database. There is no match. No ship design, no species, no recorded faction. Nothing." "Impossible," Vorin muttered. "Every ship in the galaxy left some kind of trace. Construction style, energy trail, metal signature. Something. Even abandoned alien relics from ancient times had historical data. But this ship was blank. Completely blank." He turned toward the comms officer. "Is it sending any signal?" "No, sir. No messages. No requests. No ID code." The comms officer swallowed. "It is completely silent." Silent and unmoving. The ship just floated in space like a dead object. But something about it felt alive. It was as if the ship was watching them. Relan suddenly gasped. "Captain." It moved. The ship shifted a few meters to the left. No engine flare. No visible force. It moved as smoothly as a shadow sliding on water. Vorin's voice hardened. "Speed." Relan looked at the screen again, confused. "Sir. The sensors cannot measure it." The bridge became cold. Vorin repeated slowly. "What do you mean, cannot measure?" "The ship is too fast," Relan said quietly. "Sometimes it moves faster than our sensors can track, and then it stops instantly." This was wrong. Ships did not break physics. Not like this. The crew stared at the dark object on the screen. No lights. No sounds. No movement except when it wanted. It felt unnatural. An older officer whispered, almost to himself, "It's like it does not want us to understand it." Captain Vorin ignored the comment, but in his heart he agreed. The unknown vessel drifted closer, only a few kilometers away now. Still silent. Still calm. Still giving nothing. Vorin took a slow breath. "Raise alert level to 2. All defensive ships prepare to launch." Alarms changed tone. The station shook slightly as shields powered up. But the dark vessel did not react. It simply floated, staring at them. Relan spoke again, fear rising in his voice. "Sir, I think it is scanning us." "How can you tell?" "Because our own sensors are acting strange. The readings are not failing, something is pushing back." The bridge lights flickered. Vorin felt a cold drop in his stomach. A ship with no origin, no record, no signature, and technology strong enough to confuse their systems. He had a bad feeling. Then something happened that froze every officer in the room. The unknown ship vanished. Not jumped. Not warped. Not cloaked. It simply disappeared. Relan yelled. "Sir, it's gone. Completely off sensors." Vorin barked, "Search all sectors. Find it." The officers worked fast. Data streamed across screens. Red warning icons flashed everywhere. After 10 long seconds, Relan screamed, "Captain! Behind us!" The main screen switched instantly. The unknown vessel had reappeared less than 300 meters behind the station, impossibly close. Too close for any normal ship to reach without detection. The crew fell silent. No one breathed. No one moved. The ship did not fire. It did not threaten. It simply hovered there, like a silent judge. Vorin whispered, "This thing is not here by mistake." As he watched the dark vessel, a chilling realization filled his mind. This ship did not come to attack. It came to test them. And it had already shown one terrifying truth. The Empire was too slow to stop it. The unknown vessel remained behind the massive battle station Argonis-12, silent and unmoving. It did nothing. It sent no signal. It made no sound. Yet every officer on the command bridge felt something heavy pressing against their chest. Fear. Not the panic of battle, but the quiet fear that comes from the unknown. Captain Vorin Tal kept his eyes fixed on the dark ship displayed on the main screen. His jaw was tense. His claws tapped lightly against the command rail. He spoke calmly, but everyone heard the worry beneath his voice. "Rylan, do we have any scan at all? Anything?" The young sensor officer shook his head. "No, Captain. Our systems can't read the ship. It blocks everything. Visual, thermal, engine trace. It is like looking at a shadow. A shadow that chose where to be. A shadow that appeared behind them without a single warning." The comms officer stepped forward uncertainly. "Sir, should we send a message? Maybe it wants communication." Vorin considered it. The idea felt both correct and dangerous. Before he answered, Rylan shouted suddenly, "Sir, our long-range sensors, they just went down." The bridge lights flickered again. A low hum vibrated through the walls. Vorin turned sharply. "What caused it?" "I don't know," Rylan said with a shaking voice. "All sensors facing the unknown ship are failing." Then a deeper alarm echoed through the battle station, slow, heavy, and rare. The kind of alarm that signaled a threat the system could not process. Every officer froze. The station's AI spoke in a cold mechanical voice. "Warning, external phenomenon disrupting sensor array. Source unknown." Vorin felt the cold fear return. This was no ordinary ship. He raised his voice. "Activate directional shields. Prepare defensive batteries." The crew followed orders quickly. Energy hummed through the floor as shields powered up. Turrets rotated, locking on the dark vessel. But the unknown ship did nothing. It simply watched them. The comms officer whispered, "Sir, this ship is not afraid of our weapons." Vorin didn't respond. He refused to admit that the officer was right. He ordered, "Open a wideband channel. Maybe whoever is inside will answer." The comms officer nodded and pressed several buttons. A soft click echoed through the speakers. The channel opened. Captain Vorin cleared his throat. "This is Captain Vorin Tal of the Zarak Empire. Identify yourself. You are inside Imperial space." Silence. He tried again. "We request communication. If you require assistance, we will provide it. But your presence without identification is considered dangerous." Silence. The comms officer spoke softly. "Sir, there is no response. No noise. It is like the ship isn't even receiving the message." Vorin felt a strange uneasiness. If the ship was not receiving messages, why was it here? Why did it appear behind them? Why did it watch so closely? Rylan's screen suddenly glowed red. "Captain, movement." Every officer leaned forward. The unknown vessel moved, slowly, gracefully, sliding across the space behind the station like a predator circling prey. No engine flare. No heat. No sound. Just movement. Vorin raised a hand. "Track its path." "I'm trying," Rylan whispered. "But the ship is." He stopped. The ship disappeared again. A second later. Wonk. The station shook. Lights blinked. Screens glitched. Turrets powered down for a moment. Officers grabbed onto their consoles to steady themselves. Vorin shouted, "What happened?" Rylan checked quickly. His face turned pale. "The ship, it passed through our shield bubble." Vorin's eyes widened. "No ship can do that." "I know, sir. But it did. It moved straight through our shields like they were not even there." The bridge fell silent again. A ship with no origin. No data. No engine signature. Too fast to track. Able to bypass shields. That meant one thing. This vessel was far more advanced than anything the Empire had ever known. Before Vorin could give his next command, the AI voice returned. "Warning, unknown vessel is scanning Argonis-12." The officer at the front shouted, "How? We detected no beam." Rylan checked readings again. "It's not using any normal scan, it's using something else. Something we don't understand." Vorin gritted his teeth. "Shut down non-essential systems. Reduce surface activity." "I don't want this, thing, to learn more about us. The crew moved fast. Lights dimmed. Screens lowered brightness. The station's outer panels adjusted to defensive mode. But then something unexpected happened. The unknown ship stopped scanning and drifted closer. Only 200 meters from the station now. So close the crew could see its surface, smooth, black, almost liquid-looking, with no seams or panels. The comms officer stepped back in fear. "Sir, it looks alive." The room grew colder. Then, without warning, a faint light appeared on the ship's surface. Not bright. Not blinking. Just a soft white glow, like an eye opening. Vorin whispered, "What is that?" Rieland's hands shook as he zoomed the camera. The light pulsed once. Then again. A message? A warning? A threat? No one knew. The entire station watched the glowing point like it was looking into the eye of something ancient and powerful. Vorin took a deep breath. Prepare for possible contact. But the truth settled deep in his chest. Whatever this ship was, it chose them. And it was only just beginning. The soft white light on the unknown vessel continued to glow gently, like a single eye observing the massive battle station Argonis 12. It didn't blink. It didn't flicker. It only pulsed with a slow, steady rhythm. Inside the command bridge, no one moved. Captain Vorin Tal stood perfectly still, staring at the glowing point on the screen. His scales felt tight under his uniform. His instincts screamed that this was not a normal signal. It wasn't a communication light. It wasn't a navigation marker. It was deliberate. Like the ship wanted them to know it was awake. Rieland broke the silence with a quiet, trembling voice. "Captain, the light is increasing in brightness." The glow expanded slightly, illuminating the ship's smooth, black surface. The more it grew, the more unnatural the vessel looked. It had no engines, no ports, no seams, only a perfect dark shape with one gentle white glow. The comms officer stepped closer to Vorin. "Sir, should we respond? Maybe flash our own signal lights." Vorin considered it. Every action felt dangerous, too aggressive or too desperate. "We wait," he said firmly. "We watch what it does." The crew nodded, though some looked like they wanted to run. The AI voice echoed again. "Caution, unidentified energy forming outside unknown vessel." Rieland checked his readings. "Sir, something is building around it. Like a field." "What type of field?" Vorin asked. Rieland swallowed. "I don't know. It is not energy. Not plasma. Not radiation. It's something new." The crew exchanged nervous glances. The glowing point pulsed again, stronger this time. Then, the ship began moving. Slowly. Very slowly. It drifted around the station, circling Argonis 12 with calm, controlled motion. The glow moved with it, always facing the station. The officers watched in fear. The unknown vessel felt like a predator walking around its prey, studying weaknesses, learning behavior, deciding something. The comms officer whispered, "It's like it's reading us." Vorin didn't argue. He felt the same. Suddenly Rieland's screen flashed bright red. "Captain. Something new, something big." Vorin turned sharply. "What now?" Rieland expanded the display. "Sir, the unknown ship is sending a signal. Not a message, a wave." The officer stiffened. "A wave?" Vorin repeated. "Yes, sir," Rieland said. "A pulse of some kind. It is moving across our outer hull." A soft vibration traveled through the station walls. The lights trembled. The floor hummed under their feet. The crew panicked. "What is it doing? Is it attacking us? Is it scanning deeper? Is it a weapon?" Vorin slammed his hand on the rail. "Quiet. Everyone hold positions." The officers froze and regained focus. Rieland analyzed the wave, his hands shaking. He spoke slowly. "Captain, this wave is not harming us. It's not damaging anything." Vorin narrowed his eyes. "Then what is it?" Rieland looked up, fear in his eyes. "It is counting." The bridge fell silent. Vorin stepped closer. "Counting what?" "Everything," Rieland whispered. "Every room. Every system. Every heat source. Every living body. It knows exactly how many people are on this station." Cold fear slithered down the captain's spine. A ship advanced enough to count every life form inside a heavily shielded battle station. That was not just advanced. It was godlike. Vorin straightened, gathering his voice. "Activate emergency lock protocols. Restrict system access. I don't want this thing learning more." But before they could activate the locks, the unknown vessel stopped. It positioned itself directly in front of the command bridge, only about 150 meters away. Close enough that the crew could see reflections of their own station lights on its dark, smooth hull. The glowing point expanded again. It wasn't a light anymore. It was an opening. A thin crack of white energy spread across the surface like a pupil widening. The darkness around it shifted, rippling like liquid metal. The comms officer whispered, "Sir, I think it wants to show us something." Reelin locked onto the opening with cameras. It's not a weapon port. It's too small. Too controlled. Vorin felt his throat tighten. What is inside? Reelin zoomed. The opening glowed brighter. Something moved within it. A pattern? A shape? A symbol? The glow shifted, forming lines, smooth, curved lines that looked almost like writing. But the symbols changed too fast to read. The crew watched in stunned silence. The changing shapes began to speed up. Symbols turned into patterns. Patterns into waves of light. Waves into something else. Reelin stepped back. "Captain, this is not language. This is data." Vorin frowned. "Data? What kind?" Reelin looked at him with dread. "It's information sent directly to us, but not in any format our systems can decode." "Is it trying to communicate?" Vorin asked. Reelin hesitated. Then he whispered the words no one wanted to hear. "Sir, I don't think it's talking to us." Vorin's heart pounded. "Then who is it talking to?" Reelin took a shaky breath. "It's talking to something on the station." The crew froze. Eyes widened. Fear thickened like smoke. Vorin whispered, "What has it found, inside my station?" No one answered. Because somewhere deep within Argoni's 12, something responded. A faint echo, soft, metallic, unnatural, vibrated through the floor. The unknown ship had awakened something. And Argoni's 12 was no longer alone. A cold vibration rolled through the floor of Argoni's 12, so soft that most would ignore it, but strong enough for the crew on the command bridge to feel. Captain Vorin Tal froze. That sound didn't come from the unknown ship. It came from inside the battle station. The officers stared at each other with wide eyes. No one spoke. No one dared. Reelin, the sensor officer, whispered first. "Captain, that vibration, it came from our engineering decks." Vorin's voice was tight. "What exactly responded?" Reelin tapped his console with shaking fingers. "I don't know, sir. The unknown vessel sent data, and something on our station reacted to it. Like it understood." The comms officer stepped back slowly, fear filling his face. "That's impossible. Nothing on this station should understand alien data, especially from a ship we can't even scan." The AI voice echoed coldly again. "System anomaly detected in Sector 9. Unauthorized signal activity." Sector 9. Vorin knew that area well. It was far below the command bridge, deep in the industrial core. Mostly storage rooms and old and used maintenance tunnels. There should be no active signals down there. Vorin's voice hardened. "Security team, report to Sector 9 immediately." But no voices answered. He tried again. "Security team, this is Captain Vorin. Respond." Silence. The comms officer swallowed nervously. "Sir, there's no response. Not even static. It's like the line is muted." Muted? By what? Vorin knew the answer before he spoke it. The unknown ship. Reelin suddenly gasped. "Captain. The unknown vessel, its opening is changing again." The crew turned to the main screen. The glowing slit on the ship's hull widened slowly, like a living eye adjusting to light. The patterns inside shifted from bright lines, to moving shapes, to strange ripples that looked like liquid light. The comms officer whispered, "Sir, this does not look like a normal ship. It feels alive." Before Vorin could reply, the AI spoke again. "Warning, internal signal strength rising in Sector 9. Unknown source gaining power." Reelin checked his console. His skin turned pale. "Captain, something inside the station is turning on. Something old." Vorin narrowed his eyes. "Old? Explain." Reelin took a deep breath. When Argoni's 12 was built, there were earlier structures under the new floors. Old storage pods. Abandoned prototypes. Machines from the first design phase. Some were never removed. The comms officer frowned. "But those have no power. They are dead metal." Reelin pointed at the readings. "Something is powering them now." The AI interrupted again. "Unauthorized activation detected. Sector 9B. Source unknown." Vorin felt the tension rise like a storm. Something ancient, something forgotten, something buried deep in the old floors, had just awakened. He turned toward the tactical officer. Send drones to Sector 9. I want visual contact. The officer nodded and activated the drone controls. 3 drones launched from the internal bays, flying through the dim corridors of the lower decks. The command screen split into 3 drone feeds. Dark halls, dusty doors, and used rooms. Then, movement. Drone 1 captured something, a faint white shimmer across the floor, like dust glowing. Drone 2 picked up another shimmer on the wall, thin lines spreading slowly. Drone 3 reached the deepest part of Sector 9. The crew leaned forward. A massive, round metal object sat in the center of the old storage room, gray, ancient, covered in dust and cables. It looked like a sealed container or vault, forgotten for decades. Reelin whispered, "That wasn't on our modern blueprints." Then the crew watched in shock as the front of the container pulsed with the same soft white glow as the unknown ship. The glow synchronized. Pulse, 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 matching the other ship's rhythm perfectly. The comms officer stepped back, voice shaking. "Sir, that container is answering the ship. They are connected." Vorin felt his blood go cold. The unknown ship didn't come for the Empire. It came for this. The container pulsed stronger. Drone 3's feed jittered as static interfered. "Captain," Reelin said urgently, "the energy inside Sector 9 is rising rapidly. Something inside that vault is powering up." The vault vibrated. Cables shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Lights flickered across the command bridge. Then, the vault began to open. A thin vertical slit formed in the center, white light pouring out from within. Drone 3 moved closer. The vault doors slowly slid apart, revealing a dark interior, a shape inside. Something tall. Something metallic. Something humanoid. The drone tried to focus its camera. Static. The screen went black. Drone 1 and 2 feeds also cut out instantly. The AI spoke. "Warning, external vessel energy spike detected." Reelin checked sensors, voice cracking. "Captain, the unknown ship is reacting. Its light is brighter. The patterns are moving faster. It's communicating with whatever woke up." Vorin stared at the main screen. 2 beings, one outside, one inside, speaking without words. He whispered, "What have we awakened?" Before anyone could answer, a deep, metallic voice echoed through the entire station. Not from the speakers. Not from the ship. From everywhere. Identity verified. The bridge fell silent. Every officer froze. The voice spoke again, louder. "Unit Omega, 4 has returned." Reelin trembled. Vorin whispered the question no one wanted to ask. "Returned? To what?" And the unknown ship responded. The glowing slit widened. A beam of pure white light shot toward the station. And Sector 9 answered. The bridge of the Valiant Dawn felt colder than before. No one spoke. No one even breathed loudly. Every screen on the ship showed the same message, repeating again and again. Identity match, human origin, classified. Access restricted. Status, reawakening. Captain Rhea stared at the words, her heart beating like a drum inside her chest. She whispered, "Reawakening? What is waking up?" Dr. Marin swallowed. "Captain, this ship did not only hide itself. It was sleeping. And now something inside it is waking." The shadow ship, still floating silently in front of them, began to glow faintly, thin lines of blue light tracing along its hull like veins under skin. It was no longer dark. It was alive. Commander Holt stepped forward. "Captain, we should back away. This is unknown tech. Maybe dangerous." Before Rhea could reply, the ship's shape changed. Panels on its hull shifted, releasing small bursts of white energy. The lights brightened as if the ship was taking its first breath in centuries. And then every system on the Valiant Dawn froze. Lights flickered. Screens went blank. Engines powered down. "Systems offline," a technician shouted. I don't know how. It hacked us without sending any signal." The Valiant Dawn drifted helplessly, trapped in the silent gravity well of the mysterious vessel. Dr. Marin clenched his jaw. "Captain, that ship is older than any human design. But it recognizes us. It communicates only with us. That means it belongs to humanity," Rhea finished. "But from when? From who?" The answer came in the form of another message that slowly appeared across every dead screen. "Human crew detected. Access permitted. Enter." The single word, "enter," glowed brighter than the rest. A ramp on the alien ship unfolded slowly, like a steel tongue, extending toward the Valiant Dawn. A docking walkway formed, connecting both ships with a magnetic lock. The entire crew stared. No one moved. No one breathed. The ship was calling them. Rhea gathered her away team. Holt, Marin, and 2 security officers stood ready, their helmets locked, suits sealed. But even with armor, no one felt safe. As the docking hatch opened, a rush of cold air swept in, not dangerous but ancient. It carried the smell of metal, dust, and something else. Something that reminded Rhea of an old battlefield. The walkway lights turned on by themselves, guiding them step by step. "This is too smooth," Holt muttered. "It's like it prepared for us." "It did," Marin said. "It recognized us before we even touched it." They stepped inside. The interior was unlike anything human. Giant metallic ribs curved overhead like the skeleton of some enormous creature. Blue and white energy flowed through transparent tubes along the walls. Holographic symbols floated in the air, none of them alien. They were all in old human script. Not English. Not any modern Earth language. But older. Much older. Marin stopped in his tracks. "Captain, this predates any known human writing system. This is proto-human. A form of script that should not exist in space." Rhea felt her skin crawl. "How is that possible? Humans were not spacefaring then." "Exactly," Marin whispered. They reached a massive chamber that looked like a control room. A circular platform sat in the center, glowing softly. As they approached, the lights reacted to their presence. Then the platform activated. A hologram appeared. For a moment, no one knew what they were looking at. But then the image sharpened. Was a human. A man with sharp eyes, gray streaks in his hair, and a uniform made of a material no one recognized. He looked tired. What? His voice sounded like it had traveled across centuries to reach them. "If you are seeing this, humanity has returned." Everyone stiffened. The hologram continued. "This ship is the Silent Dawn, the first and last vessel of Project Epic. We built it not for war but for warning. A warning about what is coming." Rhea felt her stomach twist. The hologram flickered. "We faced an enemy that could erase entire civilizations without leaving a trace. We hid this ship in deep space to keep our knowledge safe. If it awakened, it means that enemy may have returned." The chamber chilled instantly. Holt's hands tightened around his weapon. Marin whispered, "An enemy that erases species, without a trace?" The hologram spoke again, slower now as if running out of time. "If the stars have gone silent, if ships have vanished, then listen carefully. Humanity must prepare. Because the enemy feared us once. And if they return." He leaned closer, his holographic eyes burning with a warning that crossed generations. "They will fear us again." The message ended. The lights dimmed. Silence fell so heavy it felt like gravity increased. Rhea finally exhaled. "Marin. Holt, this changes everything." But before anyone could respond, the ship itself spoke. A deep, metallic voice echoed through the chamber. "Reawakening complete. Threat signal detected. Hostile entity approaching." Holt snapped his weapon up. "Captain, something is coming." Rhea turned toward the dark corridor, her heart pounding. Whatever enemy erased civilizations, it had found them. Red warning lights pulsed across the walls of the ancient ship. A deep vibration moved through the floor, like the heartbeat of something enormous waking from a long sleep. Captain Rhea's hand froze on her weapon. Commander Holt whispered, "Captain, that sound is not from us." Dr. Marin checked his scanner and his face turned pale. "Something is coming toward both ships. Something big. And it is not using engines. Drifting. No, not drifting, moving with intention." The voice of the ancient ship echoed again, cold and mechanical. "Hostile entity approaching. Classification, epic killer. Origin, unknown." A chill spread through the entire away team. Marin whispered, "Epic killer. That means this is the same enemy the old humans fought. The same force that erased species." Holt clicked his weapon off safe. "Well, it found us." In space outside the ship, the darkness shifted. Something huge slowly appeared, almost invisible, like a shadow blending with the void. No lights. No heat. No signals. It was shaped like a massive twisting structure, something between a creature and a machine. It moved as if space itself bent around it. The valiant Dawn detected it first. "Captain, you need to see this," the bridge officer shouted over comms. "That thing, it's not showing on half our sensors. It's like it's slipping in and out of existence." Before Rhea could reply, the voice from the ancient ship spoke again. "Defense parameters activated. Human command required." The platform in the center of the control chamber lit up again. This time the hologram changed, no longer the man from the past, but a floating interface, glowing with white-blue light. Place human hand for command access. Rhea stepped forward, her heart racing. Captain, Marin warned, connecting with alien tech. It's not alien, she said quietly. It's ours. Or it was. She placed her hand on the platform. The lines of light shot up her arm, scanning her DNA, her temperature, her pulse. The ship spoke. Command accepted. Welcome, human leader. Holt muttered, well, that's new. The entire chamber began to transform. Panels opened. Screens formed around them. A giant star map appeared, showing the shadow creature drifting closer. Marin stared. Captain, this ship isn't a warship. Rhea glanced at him. Then what is it? Marin pointed at the map. It's a shield. Or more like, a guardian. Something humanity built to detect these creatures and warn the future. The ship's voice confirmed. Purpose, protect humanity. Status, hostile entity locked. Orders. Rhea felt the weight of the moment hit her. She, not someone from the past, not the galaxy, not the council, she was the one giving the command. Holt stepped beside her. Captain, whatever is coming will kill us if we do nothing. Marin nodded. If this is humanity's ancient warning system, we need to use it. Rhea looked at the strange star map. The shadow creature was seconds away. Her voice was steady. Ship, engage defense systems. The lights blazed. Confirmed. A low hum filled the chamber. Outside, the ancient vessel awakened fully. Plates shifted. Blue-white energy surged through its hull lines. A giant ring structure unfolded beneath it, glowing brighter than any star nearby. The shadow entity reacted instantly. It twisted violently, opening something like a mouth. No teeth, just emptiness. A void that seemed ready to swallow light itself. The ship fired. A beam of silent energy, not loud, not explosive, but impossibly bright, cut across the darkness and struck the creature. For a second nothing happened. Then the creature shrieked silently, its entire form breaking apart into thin, dissolving fragments. Its body twisted, collapsed, and then vanished, erased from existence. The lights dimmed. The hum died. The shadow was gone. Rhea exhaled shakily. Holt lowered his weapon. Marin stared at the now quiet star map. Captain, Marin whispered, we just killed something that shouldn't exist. Something ancient humanity fought long before our time. Holt looked around the glowing chamber. And this ship, it chose to wake now. Because danger returned. The ancient ship spoke again. Hostile entity destroyed. New threat level, unknown. More signals detected in distant sectors. Rhea turned sharply. More? You mean there are others? Confirmed. The enemy stirs. The chamber darkened except for one screen, a map of the galaxy. All across it, tiny red dots flickered. Not many. But enough to send fear through every person in the room. Marin whispered, the old humans did not defeat the enemy. They only slowed them. And now, we may be the last ones able to fight. Rhea stepped onto the platform again. Ship, she said calmly, can you interface with our fleet? Can you share your knowledge, your technology? The lights pulsed. Yes. Humanity must stand again. Holt breathed out slowly. Captain, this is bigger than a mission. Bigger than anything. We're about to become the center of a war no one knew existed. Rhea lifted her chin. The fear inside her now felt like fire, strong, steady. Then we prepare, she said. We train. We warn the human colonies. We wake every old ship, every defense system, every secret our ancestors left behind. The ship seemed to approve. Humanity's return acknowledged. Rhea looked at her team, her brave, scared, loyal team. This is only the beginning. Outside the window, the ancient ship glowed like a returning legend. Humanity had been chosen once before. Now it had been chosen again. And this time, they would not run. They would not hide. They would rise.